Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
We have a new star. A star is born, Elon.
A victorious Donald Trump effusively thanking billionaire Elon Musk for his support.
He's a character, he's a special guy, he's a super genius.
It's no wonder Trump is grateful. Musk went all in.
We've never seen a media baron in this age of social media, somebody who owns one of the most influential social media platforms, become so involved with one person.
Musk has spent at least $118 million for Trump and gave away $1 million a day to supporters. Musk also stumped for Trump and inundated X, the platform he owns, with a torrent of pro-Trump posts and misinformation.
He has millions of followers on X, on social media, and he has also spread Donald Trump's baseless lies about the election.
Someone who says he voted for Hillary Clinton and for Joe Biden, now at Trump's side on election night and posting "the future is going to be so" fire emoji. What does Trump's victory mean for Musk?
But he'll definitely have Donald Trump's ear.
Trump has said Musk will be an influential voice in his government, tasked with downsizing the government by $2 trillion a year. Why would Trump tap Musk?
You're the greatest cutter. They go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone.
Musk posted a meme showing himself in the Oval Office with the words, "Let that sink in." But Trump says Musk won't be a cabinet secretary.
I mean, I'd love to have him, to be honest with you, but he doesn't want to.
One possible obstacle?
And there are clear conflicts of interest. He receives massive amounts of federal contracts from the federal government.
Musk's companies, primarily SpaceX, had $3 billion in government contracts last year, according to a tally by the New York Times. Could Musk's profits grow thanks to his ties to Trump?
For Elon Musk, there are some very obvious policy benefits if he can get in with the administration.
Musk's platform X could also benefit as a major hub of MAGA online. And Tesla saw its stock price jump almost 15% after Trump's win, even though it has barely any contracts with the government. The two fellow billionaires have similar views on immigration, deregulation, free speech, gun rights, and conspiracy theories. But
Donald Trump and Elon Musk both have track records of having very close relationships turn sour very quickly. If for some reason one delivers on the relationship more than the other, or one thinks that they're not getting as much of it out of the other, that's when I can see the egos clashing.
Elon Musk said during a live stream on X that his PAC would keep going beyond this election and would weigh in, quote, heavily on future elections. As the world's richest man, Musk certainly has the means to back that up. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
There's also like an original sin here, which is I think that there was an underestimation of Donald Trump, or an assumption that he would be seen as inherently unelectable because of the legal problems, because of January 6th. And when you talk to Democrats, particularly in the post-midterms moment when Biden was consolidating kind of support around the party and in his reelection, The reason they would dismiss concerns about his age or the administration's unpopularity or inflation always seemed to turn back to the fact that they thought Republicans were lining up behind someone who America could not get behind. It felt like their get-out-of-jail-free card. That assumption was never supported by the data, and that is an assumption that has brought them to this point. It's the reason why they did not have a plan B before the crisis of the first debate. And so some of that kind of haughtiness and just belief that Donald Trump could not speak to the change that folks wanted was a story they told themselves, and it's really come back to haunt.
What do you know about just what's gone on in these past few hours in the inner circle of that campaign, where we had all heard their view? They'd been public. They were confident. They thought, David Plouffe said, they thought they could win all 6 or 7 swing states. And yet here we are.
Aaron, I've been talking to allies of the vice president and sources close to the campaign over the course of the morning, including in the early morning hours, and they are in a state of shock and disbelief. Just to give you a sense of some of what I'm hearing, one source telling me that their, quote, stomach is in knots, another telling me that they felt, quote, terrible, and another just describing the mood among campaign officials as, quote, gloomy. And it was Pennsylvania and the results that came in Pennsylvania that was really the nail in the coffin. This source also saying, bluntly, the caveats won. Now, the reason that there is so much shock this morning among those closest to the vice president is because of what was being said privately and publicly by senior Harris campaign officials, essentially projecting optimism and confidence in those final hours leading up to election night, feeling as though they could pull some of those undecided voters to their side. And of course, finger pointing has already begun, because part of this strategy also included bringing in disaffected Republicans who they believed were fatigued by former President Donald Trump, as well as trying to lock in parts of their coalition where there had been waning enthusiasm. But the numbers have shown they just were not able to accomplish that, including in some of those red rural counties that they had banked on peeling off some of those Republican votes. Now, as you mentioned there earlier, the vice president will be speaking at 4 p.m. at her alma mater here at Howard University. She is also expected to call former President Donald Trump ahead of that speech. So certainly, Aaron, a lot of work going on behind the scenes to work on those remarks.
I wasn't going to vote at all until my girlfriend was blowing up my phone telling me to go vote. And if I didn't, she was going to break up with me. So now I'm here.
Was she seriously going to break up with you?
No, I made that up. She didn't say that, but it's funny to say that.
So she asked you to vote for Harris.
She did.
And so you voted for Biden in 2020, but what were you going to do this time?
I wasn't going to vote at all.
You were just going to stay home?
I was going to stay home, eat some chips or something. I don't know.
And so you came just before polls closed. But here's the thing. How long did it most people have been saying it's taken them 5 or 10 minutes. Tell us how long it took you to vote.
I was waiting for about 2 hours. I just walked out